What if everything you thought you knew about your dog's personality was only half the story? Because science says their breed isn't just shaping how they look, it's shaping how they think. Most of us grow up thinking personality is something a dog develops over time, through training, through love, through experience. And yes, those things matter enormously. But here's what changes everything. The breed your dog was born into didn't just determine the shape of their ears or the curl of their tail. It literally restructured their brain before they ever took their first breath. Researchers who mapped the brains of dozens of dog breeds found something remarkable. The size and connectivity of specific brain regions vary dramatically, not just between wild animals and domestic dogs, but between breeds of the same species. A border collie and a basset hound are both dogs. They can live in the same house, eat the same food, sleep in the same bed. But the architecture of their brains is measurably different. Here's why. For thousands of years, humans selectively bred dogs for very specific jobs: herding, hunting, guarding, companionship. Every time a dog was bred to excel at a task, the brain regions connected to that task were reinforced. Generation after generation, those neural pathways became deeper, faster, more dominant. The brain didn't just learn the job, it became the job. Think about what that means for your dog right now. When your Labrador stares at water like it's calling their name, that's not a random preference. The regions of their brain associated with retrieving and swimming are literally more developed than in other breeds. When your beagle follows a scent trail so intensely they seem deaf to your voice, they're not ignoring you. Their olfactory processing brain regions are operating at a level that genuinely drowns out competing signals. This is not metaphor. This is neuroscience. And it fundamentally changes how we should think about dog behavior. What looks like stubbornness is often a brain doing exactly what it was engineered to do. What looks like hyperactivity is often a nervous system built for relentless work, running in a world with nothing to run toward. Understanding this doesn't just satisfy curiosity, it builds compassion. Because the moment you realize your dog isn't misbehaving, they're brain behaving, everything shifts. So which parts of the brain actually change between breeds, and what does that mean for the dog living in your home? Let's go deeper because the specifics here are genuinely fascinating. The limbic system, the emotional core of the brain, shows significant variation across breeds. Dogs bred for close human companionship, like Cavalier King Charles Spaniels or Golden Retrievers, tend to have stronger connectivity between the limbic system and the regions that process social bonding. In simple terms, their brains are wired to attach. Separation doesn't just feel unpleasant to these dogs. It registers as a genuine threat. That's why separation anxiety is far more common in companion breeds. Their brain is doing what it was built to do: bond deeply and panic when that bond is interrupted. Now contrast that with breeds developed for independent work: Akitas, Chow Chows, mini livestock guardian dogs. These breeds show comparatively less activation in the social bonding pathways. They were bred to make decisions alone in the field without checking in with a human every 5 minutes. Asking them to be Velcro dogs isn't just frustrating for both of you, it goes against their neurological grain. Then there's the prefrontal cortex, the region associated with impulse control and decision-making. Herding breeds like Border Collies and Australian Shepherds show heightened activity here. They were selected for the ability to make rapid, precise, controlled decisions. When to push the sheep, when to pause, when to redirect. That same neural circuitry makes them exceptional at learning complex commands. But it also means an understimulated herding breed can develop obsessive behaviors. Their brain is running calculations that have nowhere to go. And then there's the olfactory bulb, the smell processing region, which in scent hounds like bloodhounds takes up a disproportionately large portion of the brain. For these dogs, scent isn't just a sense. It's the primary lens through which reality is interpreted. A world of smells that you and I would never detect is, to them, loud and vivid and constantly demanding attention. Knowing which brain regions dominate in your dog's breed tells you something profound. It tells you what kind of mental nutrition they need. A border collie needs cognitive challenges the way a human athlete needs physical training. A bloodhound needs sniff walks, long meandering nose-to-the-ground explorations, or their richest sense goes permanently hungry. This is where science stops being abstract and starts being something you can use tomorrow morning. Because here's the truth most dog owners never hear. A lot of the behavioral problems that frustrate people The barking, the destruction, the anxiety, the refusal to listen aren't problems of bad training or bad temperament. They're problems of neurological mismatch. A brain built for one world, living in another. So what do you actually do with this? First, research the original purpose of your dog's breed and take it seriously. Not as a fun fact, as a blueprint. If your dog was bred to herd, they need to feel like they have a job. Puzzle feeders, agility training, learning sequences of complex tricks. These aren't luxuries. They're neurological necessities. If your dog was bred to retrieve, games of fetch aren't just play. They're completing a circuit in the brain that, left open, generates frustration. Second, stop measuring your dog against a generic standard. A Shiba Inu who doesn't come running for cuddles isn't broken. A Vizsla who demands to be near you every moment of every day isn't needy. They were literally bred to work side by side with a human hunter all day long. Their brain expects proximity. Closeness is their baseline, not a personality quirk. Third, and this one matters deeply, adjust how you train based on what their brain is built to do. Scent hounds are often labeled as untrainable because they don't respond quickly to verbal commands. But engage their nose in the training process, hide rewards, create scent trails, make the nose the tool. And suddenly that same dog is engaged, focused, and learning fast. You didn't change the dog. You started speaking their brain's language. The bond you want with your dog, that deep, intuitive, mutual understanding, isn't built by pretending breed doesn't matter. It's built by honoring what their brain was shaped to be and meeting them there. When you stop fighting your dog's neurology and start working with it, something beautiful happens. They relax. They thrive. And the relationship stops feeling like a negotiation and starts feeling like a partnership. Your dog cannot explain their brain to you, but now you understand it a little better than you did 10 minutes ago. And that changes everything. If this gave you a new way to see your dog, subscribe to Canine Mind. We break down the real science behind dog behavior every single week. And drop a comment below. What breed is your dog, and does their personality match what we talked about? I'd love to know.